Diary 65. Dear Diary, I can't believe what I did today. I told them everything. Well, not everything, but almost everything. It's unbelievable how much I revealed. I had a feeling Miss Gruelle was going to pick on me. I knew she was going to make me get up and talk to everyone. I just knew it. Ms. Gruelle took some of her students from Wilson to her college diversity seminar at National University. We were supposed to teach graduate students about diversity in the classroom because they were going to be the future teachers of America. We didn't know we were in store for an emotional healing, a healing that no amount of money spent in a psychologist's office could buy. I'm still in shock. I always was taught not to tell anyone about anything that happens in our household, but tonight, I guess you could say I spilled the beans. I knew Ms. G was going to pick on me because of the topic we were discussing. I knew there were at least 2 or 3 more people who were in more or less the same situation that I was in, but she picked me. I still can't get over it. I tried to scoot down in my chair and hide behind the person that was in front of me, hoping Miss G had forgotten I was there. No such luck. She pointed her finger around the class and asked, "Where is she? Oh, there you are. Why don't you stand up and tell my college students a little more about your experience with homelessness?" My legs were shaking as I stood up. I didn't know what I was going to say to a room full of strangers. Why did she have to pick me to speak to these people? I didn't think they'd listen to my story, and if they did, I thought they'd forget it once they went home. My intent was to say a couple of words and sit down. I wasn't going to elaborate and go into detail about my life. I wanted to say something like, "It's not fun being homeless, and I wouldn't try it if I were you." Of course, Ms. Gruelle wouldn't let me get away with saying something like that. So I decided to tell the class about my father. I also told him that I didn't think he deserved the skin God blessed him with. I told him how he makes my mother go out because he doesn't want to get his butt off. So I decided to tell the class about my father. I also told them that I didn't think he deserved the skin God blessed him with. I told them how he makes my mother go out because he doesn't want to get up off his butt and get a job to provide for us. I explained that going out means that my mother stands on the corner with a "homeless will work for food" sign. She stands outside for hours with that sign, hoping people will give her some money to feed her children. She goes out in the hottest and coldest weather just to make sure we had something to eat. When my mother comes home, he has the audacity to take the money and go buy beer and drugs, more specifically cocaine. My mother has to lie and say she only made half the money she really made so she can get us something to eat for the day. I don't know why she puts up with his shit. She has the education to get a good career. If it weren't for my father, she wouldn't have done drugs and believed that she couldn't do any better than standing on a street corner asking for money. I went on to ask the class, "Do you know what he does?" He gets all of his beer bottles and recycles them so he can go and buy more beer. Well, you can't say he isn't trying to help the environment. He sells our food so that he could get more drugs, leaving us hungry. After I laid out my life like an open book, I couldn't help but break down and cry. Talking about my father made me realize how depressing my life really is. It never bothered me before tonight because I guess I'm used to it, and I never expected it to be any other way. At that point, I was crying hysterically. I couldn't help it, but then neither could anyone else. I noticed there were some males in the corner who had actually stepped out of the room because I guess they had a little something in their eyes. But I still kept talking. "He's a selfish bastard," I said, heaving and gasping for breath. "He doesn't care about anyone but himself. He claims that he cares for his precious son, but he doesn't try to get a job and make sure his son has food in his stomach or clean clothes on his back. He doesn't care that his precious son has to go to school with the same clothes he's been wearing for the past week. He doesn't care that we have to wash our clothes in the sink with the soap we used to bathe in. He doesn't care that we had to sleep on the streets because he couldn't pay rent for the hotels we were living out of. He doesn't care about his son or any of his family. All he cares about is his drugs." By that point, I was seething mad and not caring what I told people about my father. I was getting everything off my chest, and it felt damn good. I continued to tell the class that my father had molested my sister and how angry I was that my mother didn't do anything when she found out about it. In fact, she doubts that my sister is telling the truth. That shows how much power and influence my father has over my mother. After years of keeping everything in, my heart felt like a grenade. It exploded, full force, and left me emotionally drained. I was relieved, but felt horrible just the same, because I told these strangers basically every detail of my life. When I finished my story, I clumsily sat in my chair because I could barely stand straight. My friend sitting next to me took me into her arms and gave me a much-needed hug. Ms. Gruel's college students were so comforting that they didn't feel like strangers anymore. I can't believe what I did today. I told them everything. Well, not everything, but almost everything. It's unbelievable how much I revealed. I knew she was going to pick on me. I just knew it, but I'm happy that she did.